Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yeah. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV. Hello, we are here for episode 18 of Scorpion, called The Fast and the Nerdiest, hence the Fast and Furious song in the background, right? Welcome, guys. Again, I am with you. I am Monse Bolanos. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. And across from me, my beautiful co-host, Susanna.
Oh, hello. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Susanna_Kim.
Yeah. And that's it. Is it the same now?
It's the same now.
It's the same. That's what I was waiting.
It's all synced up, you guys.
I'm usually waiting for you to say the difference of the other one.
All the same.
All the same.
Super easy now.
If this is your first time joining us, welcome. If it's your first time listening, watching, whatever, we hope you guys like it and come back and give us your opinion and tell us what you think of Scorpion. If you're returning, welcome back. Thanks for being here once again. As always, really appreciate it.
And early.
And this time I tweeted it out, unlike last time when we sucked and just didn't tell anybody. We're kind of like Scorpion in how off their schedule is.
Right.
We're the same.
We
just like to follow.
Yeah, exactly. We want to keep with the show, you know?
Right.
Just be in keeping.
Just
with
up
the
and
tone,
keeping, because they're not here next week.
Keep it a surprise.
Yeah. They don't tell us when they're coming. We don't tell you when we're coming. So we're just awful. But next week, I don't think there's an episode. Usually we do get a preview.
Week. And then I think the 2 weeks after that, there are episodes. And then I
2
think
weeks?
we're done. I think there are 2 after the break next week.
2 more episodes. And then we're done.
And I think we're done.
Ugh.
Yeah.
2 episodes?
Long. I think so. I think
something has to be.
But
big
man,
I can't.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to what could possibly big happen later on in the show. But let's start off with what we saw in this week's episode. We immediately start with The Price is Right.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Another CBS show.
I was gonna, as I was watching, I was like, Price is Right is on CBS.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing there, CBS. I like it. But unlike normal people who go to The Price is Right to be chosen and you're just in the audience having a good time, these people are like giving facts as to whether Sylvester's gonna get picked or not. They're just like sitting, they look so awkward. Like everyone's like cheering.
They totally stood out.
Yeah, it's like, what are you guys, you all should have worn a super silly fun guy shirt.
Super fun guy shirt.
Super Silly Funland is a place at Universal Studios. That's why I get that confused. Super Fun Guy shirt.
Super Fun Guy.
They all should have worn something.
Yeah.
But the arms crossed, they just are all saying statistics.
Right, so you guys clearly are not going to get chosen.
Right?
Obviously, if it's going to be someone, it's going to be Sly.
And we immediately get happy. Everything Happy said in this episode, I was dying.
Yeah.
When she's like, you're sweating. It looks like you swam here.
Yeah.
It's like, that's so
dry.
awful.
Yeah.
So good. And he gets picked last to come on down, which looked like the beginning of the episode.
Right.
Right. Like, I've not seen The Price is Right in a long time, but boy, did I watch that.
Yeah, you haven't seen.
In
a long time.
In
okay,
a long
yeah,
time, because now I have to work.
We all grew up watching it.
Now I have to go do stuff and be an adult.
Right.
I can't just be home at 10 a.m. And when I am home at 10 a.m., it's not Monday through Friday.
Right. But I was thinking that too. It's like the actors too. Like they probably all grew up watching this show,
right.
and
Bob
so
Barker.
even for them to be on the set, like that'd be pretty cool. You know,
Yeah.
like they're all CBS actors, but it's not like they're there every day. You know, so yeah.
We get Drew Carey. Yeah, like you're right. Even if you're Catherine McPhee, you may have watched this growing up.
Right.
You probably did geek out a little bit.
It was big before you guys were, you know? So
it's been around forever. And
Yeah.
I always loved Price is Right.
Yes.
It was always so much fun.
Yes. I would love to go on Price is Right.
We should go.
I did Let's Make a Deal. That was across the street. Yeah, it's so
and
fun.
if you may have seen her, if you saw the Valentine's Day episode.
I was on that.
You were, and you saw
won some cash.
You saw you a lot. because you tended to be behind Wayne Brady a lot.
Well, and they chose me to come down too. So I won some
but
cash.
even if you wouldn't have come down, you were just always in the position like right behind him.
Yeah.
Where you could be
pick and choose in the place the people that they think maybe they might choose or something. I don't know. Yeah.
If you ever go to do audience work or anything like this, the better or crazier you look, depending on the theme of the show. But if you go to something like The Voice, the crazier you are. But if you go to something like The Voice, the fancier you look, you will be placed where the camera can catch you.
Of course.
You look awful, you will be in the corner.
Right.
We're just giving you guys tips.
Right. Which is what was happening here with them.
Yes,
they're all just quiet and in the corner. They're like, we're not going to put you guys in the aisle, clearly. You don't belong here.
Yeah. But yeah, they call him up, come on down. You know, you're the next contestant on The Price is Right. And we get the first item, and he's like, done, $950, ping pong table.
Right.
No. And Drew Carey's like, oh, but usually we describe to you. Yeah, he said, that's not how it goes. We usually describe to you the item. He's like, no, it's fine. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
He describes the item for basically everybody. So
it felt like
$950.
It almost felt like he was cheating, right?
A little bit.
You're not even going to give anyone else a chance.
Well, it's a good thing he went first.
Yeah,
right? And like it's true because I would have been like, well, if he said $950, I'd be like $949.
Right? Exactly.
In case he's off by a little bit.
Exactly.
He gets it, and then what happens when you get it right on the point? You get $500.
Yes.
Man. That's like, this is not fair.
Yeah, I mean, he knew what he was doing.
He definitely knew. And then he goes on to a game, which I'd never seen because I haven't seen The Price is Right in forever, but that house game where you place items in every level above. So it goes, mailbox is technically like the first level. Every level of the house has to be higher than the level below it.
Exactly.
And again, he's just like, boom, 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 boom.
Right? Before he even explains what any of the things were. He was like, I'm just going to go ahead and just lay it out.
I'm just going to go for the $100,000. I'm
going to make this show really not that exciting, but kind of exciting.
But kind of, because I'm going to win, and people get so excited when people win. But it was so funny.
Took out a chunk of the show.
The girl, like the assistant, she's like,
she's like, I can't even get to it fast enough. You guys just standing around waiting. Normally I would have more time.
Normally I have more time, but no, he wins. Everyone does go crazy in the audience. He wins $100,000. A couple of things that I noticed in this, because this was quick. I really liked this whole scene. It happened so fast. I feel like it was 2.5 minutes, if that. Paige, when he wins, Paige kind of like not hugs Walter, but like gestures like excitement towards him.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
He didn't even look at her.
Yeah.
He just stayed looked forward and was like clapping all stoic. Okay, Walter.
I mean, that sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Right. And then Sylvester, when Drew Carey shakes his hand to congratulate him, pulls his sleeve down.
Out,
to like shake his hand.
You're Drew Carey, but you still have germs.
But you do still have germs. And he wins all this. He does all this because he wants to name a pediatric wing at the hospital after Megan Dodd.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be Megan O'Brien.
Right. Oh, of course not. She's
married. And at this point, we're back at the garage, but they've told us, like, he won the showcase. I wish we could have seen a little bit of the showcase.
Right. Yeah, we didn't see it, but we saw all the stuff that he won.
We did.
Which is a bunch of crap.
A bunch of crap he won. But I would have loved to see the person react, like the person that's like in the showcase. I'll be like,
how intimidating, right?
Just give it to him.
Can you just pass me to the next round?
Yeah, and it's like, did he win both showcases? Did he guess both under 200, between 250? It
was just a slideshow.
Yeah.
Just the whole show.
Just the whole show. So we know all that, and like Happy and Paige briefly talk about Happy's hunk and his gambling. It seems like Happy is not that big of a fan.
Yeah, it's already trouble in paradise.
And it's just a little brief. Like we get it throughout the whole episode.
Right.
The hinting that Happy is not happy. I like that.
Starting to have issues.
Starting to have little issues. And then we also get introduced to our guest star, Eric Roberts, a.k.a. Mick Doughty. Doherty?
Yeah.
Mick Doherty. That's what it was.
I was not having it.
Me neither.
Did not like him. I mean, I didn't like his character. He was just like sleazy.
And from the beginning.
I just didn't like him.
And it was like, hey, you don't see it? You don't see the sleaziness?
Right. Or just like, ugh. Yeah. It's like, you could just tell from the get-go, this guy's going to be trouble. He's going to cause issues. Like, why would you trust him?
Yeah. So they tell it. That's funny. I wrote sketchy. Like when it's just sketchy.
Yeah, super sketch.
Haven't seen him, they haven't seen each other in like 10 years. And he wants a deal is what he comes looking to Cabe for. He already has a deal though. Like we were told that Cabe had already set up a deal with him in the feds, and he's like, that deal that we set up, like, it's not gonna work. If they find out about this, like, they're not gonna help me out. They're gonna make me testify, and I don't want to testify. And like we don't really know what to think aside from the fact that he's sketchy. And at this point, they're alone, and he's like, well, keep it quiet. I don't want people to listen. And Cabe's like, and like lifts the blinds. Yeah. And they're all there just like listening.
Nice try.
Yeah, and he's like, we only heard all of it.
Right.
That's what Toby says. I love that.
Just all of it.
Just all of it.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that Cabe would want to help him because this guy helped him as a kid. But it's like, that was so long ago. Because they say that, you know, he says Mick defended him when he was getting picked on by a bunch of bullies or whatever. And it's like, okay, that's fine. But didn't you already pay him back for that?
The deal
exactly.
And I think Toby says something like, so you owe him from your childhood thing? Like, what?
And so what does that have to do with us?
And you know? Yes. And it's always talking about putting each other on the line and putting danger. Yes. And it's like, you're definitely putting Team Scorpion in danger
and
here.
Cabe's usually the first one to always be like defending them and be like, it's like, oh, I don't want to put my team in that position to other people. But now that it's someone that, you know, is like a personal relationship, it's like, oh, well, you know, whatever, let's just do it.
Let's just do it. So they do talk to him, and this is where like you start to see, at least I was like even more of a sketchy guy when Sylvester's like, oh, you were like a rat, like because he said he was like an informant. He's like, no, and he gets so defensive, and it's like, no, but you are.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Why are you getting defensive though? We're just stating facts. And he tells us, we find out that he's been working with a guy, Patrick Grady, aka Frank Renzulli. I'm gonna guess that's how he says that. That he sells high-end cars, but stashes stuff in the cars.
Of course.
Anything, like all kind, not just like drugs, but anything that needs to be transported from point A to point B. He uses these fancy cars to do it, and he says, I heard, I'm using bunny ears here, air quotes. I heard a conversation with a guy with a Spanish accent. All of that, I was like, shut up, Nick. Get out of here. Hated that guy. The Spanish accent about a drop that needed to be kept in certain temperature. No light, like very specific things with this package. And then they're like, this sounds like a biohazardous item, whether it be a weapon or whatever.
Super dangerous.
But there is a $5 million payoff.
Yeah.
And this conversation happened with a government official from Mbalio. Mbalio. I'm not going to lie, I never heard about Mbalio.
No, me neither. And I did try to look it up. I was like, Balio, where's Balio?
Is it real?
You know, I still had a hard time looking for it. I saw something that said, like, Balio in Argentina. I don't know.
Maybe it's... Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly.
Because they mentioned it's in Central America.
Right, yeah.
And I'm from Central America.
So you should know.
And I feel like I should have at least heard of this place. And when you talk about Central America, that's not one of the places that comes up. So, I mean, it could be just, you know, like I said, now, like you just mentioned, a place in Argentina, and that they made it into a bigger place for the story of Scorpion. But that was weird. I was like, I don't know and they're trying to figure out how they can figure out if this is true, if this story is true. And that's part of the problem, is that Walter's like, this is all based on ipso facto, or no, not ipso facto. He said, she said. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. This is all based on what he heard. This is not
something
legit stuff. There's no evidence. Like, why are we going to go do this? But Happy... Well, this is where I was like, Happy, you are like helping Mick right now. And she's like, no, we can go in as software people and like say that we're Happy. Like,
she's all about it.
She was all about it. She was the one that gave the idea as to how to get into this garage and talk to these guys.
Maybe she just heard fancy cars and she's like, all right, well, wait, what are we doing here?
That is very
how
true.
How can we get into this?
That is pretty true. And Walter doesn't like it. Like, he's the one kind of fighting it the most.
Right.
And they kind of call out Cabe. They're like, why do you trust him so much? And this is when we find out about the story that you just mentioned about being bullied and Mick helping him out. Took a guy's eye out, and because of it, he went to juvie.
But still, right? I mean, that was so long ago. Yeah, what does it have to do with anything?
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't know what this guy's doing, what kind of person he is now. He was in juvie at a very young age, so you don't know what kind of influence he's had.
Right.
And yeah.
And you haven't seen him in 10 years. It's not like I just saw him, a year and a half ago.
Right.
10 years. That's how long Susanna and I have been friends.
That's very true.
Like 10 years. years. No, you tripping. Walter's like, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll go see if this is true. If we can find any evidence to support his story. If it's true, we'll take it to the authorities. If not, bye-bye, Mick. That is the plan.
Sure.
So
that easy.
It seems that easy.
Always.
So they head out to wherever, what is the guy's name? The bad guy? Well, not the bad guy. Grady. They go over to Grady's place. And at this point, we find out that he stole motor oil from Sylvester.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that big of a deal, but it's the principle of the matter.
It's the first flag.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, okay. All right. So you couldn't have asked?
You couldn't have asked? Exactly. You saw all this motor oil and you weren't like, they're not going to mind if I take 2.
Right. And it's not that it was used. It's brand new. You opened up that box. You
opened up that box.
That was going to be sold. Yeah. And now it cannot be sold.
Yeah. And now it's like, what? Cabe, how are you just like, oh yeah, no big deal,
right?
Cabe, whatever. And then in this,
softie.
It is a softie. Yeah, he is a softie. They're in the car. When I say there, it's Cabe, Walter, and Toby, and Happy.
Yes,
because Cabe is taking them. Them 3 are supposed to go into the garage. And then this is when Cabe describes Mick as possibly a lost Picasso.
Yeah.
And Toby's like, oh, what? Why did you reference art?
Yeah.
He's like, I just did it. He's like, no, people don't just do that.
For nothing.
Like, everything comes out for a reason. And then when Mick comes and he's like, you're right. Cabe is always right on the Monet. I mean money. That line, the writers, whoever wrote that for Scorpion, that was hilarious. That was amazing. Oh, good.
I knew he was gonna bring it back up again. As soon as he like called him out on that, you know, he was like, wait, what was that? What? Art from you? I knew he was gonna bring it back.
And I'm glad we got art back at the end. Like, kind of like that it was brought up by someone else too, not even just by Toby. And then here it's like, okay, Mick, why aren't you going to go in then? Why did they have to go in
flag
alone
number 2
to the garage? We can make it like flag number 4 at this point. There's really so many little flags that we could be throwing. It's like a yellow flag in football. You throw a little yellow flag. He is terrible. But Walter, Happy, and Toby are told by Mick, you guys can go in. We got approved. Boom, go. They get in there, and this guy's like, before this guy puts the... burlap. What do we put over their heads? Cover their faces with
I don't know.
Sheet with I don't know, something.
Some sort of cloth,
he puts something over their head, blindfolds them. But before that, you kind of see a lot of cars. You go into a garage, you see a lot of expensive cars. They see a Stingray, a Pantera. I think he called it an Aventador. I was like, I've never heard of these cars.
But they look nice.
But they did look
so little.
Yeah.
They look so small.
But I think for racing, you want them to be smaller.
Right, yeah.
And then Happy says that the Pantera is the sexiest thing she's ever seen.
Toby corrected her. But it's actually the second sexiest thing.
Second sexiest thing.
God. And she was just annoyed by it the whole time.
She was super annoyed by it the whole time. Like the whole episode, you could just see her like...
Right.
She's just like, why am I doing this? So this is actually happening at the main garage. For some reason, I thought this was at the first garage. They get to the first garage. They put something over their head. They technically kidnap them. And Cabe and Mick see the car leave. They take them to another warehouse. This is where those cars are. This is where the real Grady is. Because they have not dealt with Grady.
Right.
But they can't use their comms until they're at a safe spot. Because then if they're going to know somebody's listening to them. And Cabe tells Mick that he better not be... This is like the first... moment Cabe kind of is like worried about Mick. He's like, are you playing with me? Because if you are, this is not going to go well for you.
And even then he's like, okay, I'm still gonna give you a shot. My gut is telling me no, but we're still gonna try it out.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Cabe.
Right. And I would not who's listening to this? They're listening to this. So it's like, how is Paige and Sylvester, who are not in danger, fine, listening to this in the comms, and I'm like, Cabe, don't be dumb.
Right.
This is like not a good idea. Hello. Like, I wish that at that point. But Sylvester was so nervous that at this point he's actually researching on Balio. He finds out that it's a Central American government in turmoil. He says that there is like a group of people, I believe he said Aztec people that are kind of fighting the government.
Exactly.
They're causing problems and
starting an uprising.
We don't know if this biohazardous weapon has to do with this, but this is all Sylvester knows. He's like, I'm not sure, but this is it. This is what's going on. And then back at the garage, Happy and Toby have another little moment where Toby starts telling the story about a guy that would keep his bets written in gum wrappers.
Yeah.
Like, that story, I was like, seriously? And Happy's like, I just wanted to be like, Toby, stop talking.
Right.
Stop talking.
Like, yeah, and there's another one.
And there's another one.
Right.
She's so good.
Charming.
Yeah. And Happy and Toby are looking at the cars while Walter is supposedly looking at the software and installing something to see if he can speed up the process of them shipping cars from point A to point B. We are told that for a startup model, it is $1.5 million for a startup model. And then he says, my 8-figure cars, I don't let the guys drive
it, right.
Okay.
Right.
Sure.
Must be nice.
It is. Really? And as they're talking about, Toby's talking to Grady, tells him, like, starts hinting that Walter knows how to race.
Yeah.
Starts hinting towards some sort of bet.
Yeah.
And
he picks it up right away. He's like, wait, I can tell that you're just, a little two-time and better.
Right.
Right.
I know. It's so, he's like.
Just called him out.
He's
like, but then he's still up for it. He's like, you clearly want to bet something. What's it going to be?
And the bet
what
is
are we going to bet on?
free. So either if they win, if Toby and Walter wins, they get paid double. If they lose, then they work for free.
Exactly.
It's like
double or nothing.
Double or nothing. And Walter is going to race. That's what's crazy. I was like, Walter.
Yeah.
But
and there's that little page is like, what are you getting him into?
Yeah. She's like, oh no, he's gonna race. I think she makes a comment. She's like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
No. So they kind of go outside, and Happy is like, I'm gonna go check on the stuff that Walter should be checking on. And that's how they're able to really look in depth as to if they're hiding anything.
Right.
Because they haven't been able to do it because they're kind of being watched.
Right.
But everybody's outside.
And when they're out there outside, like, you can I could clearly see Walter's comm. It's like, don't you think these guys would have noticed that?
Yeah.
It was huge, right? It was so big, and I was like, these guys, they're so worried about Popo and Leo's or whatever. They totally would have seen that, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. I know.
I was like, okay, all right, fine.
All right. I know. Is it their little tiny ones?
Before I never really noticed them, but this episode, just because I was so worried about these guys, noticing it, I was like, wait, aren't they gonna see? But they never mentioned it. So
they're supposed to be like sad. Skin color, so you kind of just blend into it. Yeah. So I agree. I agree with the comm thing. So Walter is checking everything to try and like stall. Like,
yes.
He doesn't want to race right away because Happy's in there, and if Happy gets caught, this is all gonna be a hot mess.
Right.
So he's checking everything, checks the like fuel color.
Yeah. I need you to take this fuel out of it so I can compare the tint.
So you can compare the two.
Wow.
And they're telling him like, don't race yet. Like, Happy needs more time. Don't do this. Don't do that. And Happy's like looking. She doesn't find anything. She then finds some crown molding in the wall.
Yeah.
That is the way I understood it, out of date for the location they're in.
Yeah, because they're in LA. Because they wouldn't not normally be crown molding. Also, that was the biggest freaking crown molding I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen crown molding like that. Never. It was more like a nest.
Right. Yeah. And so she looks into it because she's genius, figures it out. She finds facts from Balio. She finds out that there's like a midnight pickup. She finds an address. She tells the address to everybody in the comm. Walter at this point is being called a chicken. He hasn't started racing yet. He's being called a chicken, and Toby's like, dude, he's doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
He's trying to get you to race.
He's like, don't give in. But he gives in.
Obvi. He gives in, and he starts the race. This is also, I looked over at you. So Happy is giving the address and the midnight pickup location on the comm. And Paige and Sylvester are like, Paige is like, that address is literally right down the street. We will go check on it. They're there. Did they transport there? Teleport? What?
She meant down the street, like,
across
a few
street?
houses down.
Like,
yeah.
literally neighbors?
Buildings down, and it was right there.
I was like, they got there so fast.
They didn't even need to get in the car. They just walked.
Nah, they were already there, and he hadn't started racing. Then he started racing. The race starts. As they look around, what's her face? Paige. Paige is like, nobody was here. And Sylvester's like, no, this is fresh prints on the gravel. Somebody was here. And they go into this building that's just open? No lock? No nada?
Well, the lock was there and it was open, and it's like you guys can see that, you know, you're in a dangerous situation, right? Didn't you think that you were getting into something that might be dangerous? Didn't they kind of already see like, oh, hey, there's something going on here? And really, you're gonna go in there, no guns, no backup, no nothing. You don't know who could be in there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, poor decisions.
So you wouldn't have gone in?
No, poor decisions. And I feel like the other guys should have told them not to go in there just on their own without any help, right?
Right, that's true.
There totally could have been guys with guns in there. There should have been. They didn't know that they just left.
It's true. It's true. And they find biohazardous labels. They find a makeshift lab. They're like, somebody has been here. And Sylvester reads out the label, like all the lettering from this thing that they found. I don't even know what it was. And they realize that part of it means a common cold. And the other part of it is a mitochondrial gene. Right. So it's like to basically give a specific group of people the cold and kill them. And
certain genome sequence. Right. That only affects those Aztec people.
Who are giving the government a run for their money. Exactly. So it's like a genocide bomb.
Exactly. Which means the government's behind this then.
Yep.
So then at that point, don't you feel like we should probably get some other people involved?
Right? I mean, we do know that the government... Well, I guess we don't know that Mitch is telling the truth because he mentions that it's a government official from Balio.
True.
But we don't know if he's telling the truth. But it's like, at this point, you guys should realize this is totally government. And this is much bigger than what is in front of you guys. Walter wins the race instead of buying time, because even Happy's like, lose the race, beg for a rematch, give me more time.
Right.
He doesn't do it.
And he didn't. And when he says no, or like, you know, when he just continues to go through and he's like, that's not happening. I'm not going to let him win. I thought he was going to have another plan, but no.
No, me too. I was like, he has to have a backup.
Yeah, like, right? I was like, no, he's going to do something way cooler.
And then nothing.
No, I'm just going to let my friends be in danger.
And we're gonna
Sorry, Happy, you better run.
You better run.
You better run, girl.
Yeah, because Happy gets a hold of more paperwork, and she figures out where they're holding this weapon, but they pretty much get caught because of Walter, because Walter did not stall. Toby's like, get out of there now, which I was like, get out.
Yes, and she was still standing there reading. She was like, I just got a little bit more. I told you 5 pages ago that you need to be out of there.
Yeah, so I don't just blame Walter, I also blame a little bit of Happy.
Yes, that was not a good decision.
And Grady has him at gunpoint and is like, tell me 3 in 10 seconds, why, whatever. Who are you working with? He hits Toby. And he counts down 3, 2, 1. Cave comes crashing in with the car to save the day.
And no gunshots.
No gunshots. He comes in.
I was like, so wait, he crashed in and then all the guys fell on the floor, or what happened? Because they didn't show the guys after the car crashes in. You know, you just see the car crash in. They all get in the car and then it goes. But there were I wish there were like some gunshots.
Something.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Exactly. Nothing. You didn't see what happened to the guys. Were they just waiting?
Yeah. They were like, all right, so
we just paused. We just froze.
We're not gonna shoot him.
We're gonna wait for you guys to go.
We're gonna wait for you to get in the car, and
we don't want to cause too much trouble.
We don't want to do any of that. Yeah, it was very quick, but that happens all the time. He comes in just in time, and then we get a commercial, and we make a really weird jump to the story where I was like, did I miss something?
I did the same thing.
So I'm gonna do a weird jump here. Thank you guys for always listening to us. Like, we really appreciate you coming week after week, especially when this show takes breaks. And all of this is brought to you guys for free because of our awesome sponsors. So we have so many awesome sponsors. Thank you. Today's sponsor is Casper, because, changing an industry isn't easy, but we're seeing it more and more. Just think, thanks to new apps and startups, we're not using taxis or hotels as much. And now with Casper, the way we buy mattresses is changing too. Mattresses are important. What is it? After 8, change it or something? I love how these guys turn the commission-driven mattress showroom on its head. It's not just me that loves Casper. It's the most awarded mattress of the decade. Named one of the best inventions of 2015 by Time Magazine. Nice. Casper is a single perfect mattress for all sleepers. It's engineered for supportive comfort that guarantees a great night's sleep, just like their new sheets and pillows. Their unique pillow design is the perfect ratio of squish to comfort. Casper ships this mattress for free in a surprisingly compact box, so you can try it at home for 100 nights risk-free. 100 nights. That's like 3 months, guys. Yeah. Risk-free.
Good policy.
Right? If you don't love it, they'll pick it up and refund you everything. So for a guaranteed great night's sleep, choose the leader in the mattress revolution, Casper. Try for 100 nights in your home with free shipping, free returns. Go to Casper.com and use the code AfterBuzzTV for $50 towards the purchase of your mattress. Did you guys just hear what I said?
You guys can go to Casper.com. Your code AfterBuzzTV will give you $50 towards the purchase of your mattress. Casper.com. Terms and conditions apply. Go get yourself a new mattress so you can have the best night of sleep forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Nice.
Right? I think Mick could use a good night of sleep.
Right?
That guy. That guy. Mick, I'm going to get you a Casper mattress because maybe you won't backstab everybody. Maybe you won't leave a note for Cabe that says, sorry, buddy, whatever, peace. And this is when I was like, wait, did I miss a scene? What happened? I had no idea what that note meant.
Yeah, it skipped.
Right. And I was like, did the note mean that he put them in trouble or what? And it was that he stole the weapon.
Yeah.
Once he got the address, once Happy got the address and said it on the comm, and it was Cabe who shooed him away when he was like, you can't be seen here, go.
Yeah.
He literally sent him to the location.
Right.
Like, Cabe, come on, man.
Just helped him out.
Just help him out. And like, here is where Toby's like, maybe you don't know him as well. And this causes him to think, like, would he still be around?
Finally.
Yeah, finally, you're starting to think a little bit. Toby mentions a couple of things as to why people would do, drastic things. One of them being love.
Right.
He's like, love. But he's like, no, he said Lorraine is not around. He says he's not with her anymore. But what if that's a lie? Lorraine. Of course.
Of course. It's always a woman. It's always got to be about a girl.
Always got to be about love, right? Always. So Toby suggests 2 places where he could go.
He just pulled those out of nowhere.
And Happy is not the fondest of the 2 locations he's picked because of his gambling. He knows these locations, and he's like, not that I know them very well,
because one of them is like some sort of casino. The other one is a no-tell motel.
Yes. So good job, Toby.
Sketch.
So half of them go to one, the other half go to the other. Paige also asks Happy before they split off about Toby. Like, they're already, I believe they're actually already separated. Paige and Happy are together, and asks about Toby, and like, she, confesses because they're at this hotel place that she does not want to think of Toby like that because that's kind of what he once was, and he's afraid that he might go back to that.
Exactly, because Happy keeps making little comments, especially with the whole Mick thing. Like, Mick just going, leaving Cave out of nowhere. She's like, man, it must, suck to have a friend stab you in the back. And she has these little moments where she keeps thinking, like, shoot, what if this could happen to me?
Right.
Awful. Yeah.
Awful to sit in your thoughts like that in just circles, like.
Exactly.
And
especially because you're working with the person that's affecting you so much.
Yeah.
It's not like you can escape it,
No.
So
and he keeps making comments.
Thing he says, yeah.
It's not like he just doesn't talk about it. Like, he keeps making comments. And Toby, Cabe, and Walter are at the other place, and they actually find Lorraine in a room. They also find some of Grady's men, like, 2 rooms down, waiting for Mick to arrive, because they know Mick also stole the weapon, the biohazardous weapon. They figure out that he just left because the oil comes into
Again,
play
I like
again.
that. I like that they use that again.
Yeah, because they noticed that the car was leaking. So they're like, this is fresh oil. He's just
New
here.
oil.
Yes, he just left.
What did he say? It's game show oil.
Game show? Yeah. And they have to contact Lorraine. And I was like, okay, what are we going to do here? And he's like, we just need to make a TV studio. That's all.
Why didn't I think of that?
That is all we have to do.
Okay. Well, let me just get myself on TV then. Right? What was that again? What are those directions? Can you Pinterest that so I can do it?
So I could seriously just put myself in all television sets. Apparently connecting the phone to the end of some cable. I think he's a coaxial cable. I don't even know. But apparently doing that, it makes the phone into like a camera. Lorraine can see Cabe, and Cabe can talk.
Yes.
But she can't talk to him.
Right.
So Cabe's like, Lorraine, Mick is like betraying all of us. I'm the only one that can help you. He's in a lot of trouble. This is not just like stealing some stuff, like blah, 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 blah. They help her. They take down the AC unit. I'm like, y'all making damage.
Yeah, they took it out. Right? I
That-
hope they left a note for the hotel.
Something.
Did they leave a note?
They just made a hole on the wall. I was like,
Right?
Right?
That won't tell his insurance.
But they get Lorraine out because they're like, you have to get out now because the guys next door are gonna hear this as we're pulling the AC unit out.
And I hate the moment when she's sitting there. She's like, I can't do it.
Okay, then sit there and get killed.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Right?
Yeah.
She sounded so annoying.
Were you as annoyed when she's like, I love Mick, I'm not gonna give him up? Shut up, Lorraine.
That was the worst. She was like, he's coming for me, and that's it. Really? Is that it? Because I'm pretty sure he's not.
Because he's not.
So that's not it.
Yeah.
So plan B?
And this is all back at the garage. They've saved her, but she like doesn't want to say anything. She truly bellies Mick's gonna be back.
Right.
You're a crazy girl.
You would think after these other men saved you that it'd be over.
Right. And after they explain to you what happened, Mick calls from a burner phone to Cabe's cell phone.
All cash.
Right? No big deal. He's like, sorry, baby. I have to go because $5 million. This is my what? What does he call it? Like,
this is my last. Oh shoot! My final deal,
my something, like something to
like
say,
that,
like this is it. This is gonna make me all the money in the world. So sorry, baby, gotta go.
Done.
And hangs up.
All right.
Lorraine, you really know how to pick them.
Yeah. I like her little freak out though. She's like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
At that moment, I was like, "Okay, yes, there you go."
Right. Because
Cabe
Cabe is like, she's not safe. She is totally not going to be safe after you go off. She's the next person. So after
grabbed her, talked her.
Because after he hangs up, he threatens her one more time. It's like, this is your last chance. If anybody dies because you withheld information, you're never going to see the light of day. That was a real good threat. And she talks about taking a boat to Balio, like down south somewhere, getting on a boat. Now here is where I was like,
what? How they caught up with him?
Yeah. How they were like, okay, so let's make this as simple as possible. Because he needed gas before he went on the road. They were like, we're gonna run into him at one of these gas stations.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were pretty certain about that.
And they do.
And this dude, like, really, you had a janky car, and you're not gonna try to maybe steal another car. I mean, it's $5 million. You're just gonna hopefully. Hope this makes us down south.
Yes. With your oil, you only took 2. You should have taken more oil. But they find him. Happy finds him on one angle. She's like, I got it. I'm going to force him onto the service road. Cabe comes on full force, like right in front.
Yeah.
And they kind of are playing chicken.
Yes.
Driving straight towards each other. And they're back and forth. Like, he even says, I always won at chicken.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm not blinking. I'm not doing it. At this time, we have to remember that Mick, what's his name? I don't like him. Mick. Whatever his name is. Mick has that weapon in his car. So if there's a crash, they're all going to die.
Right.
Something's going to happen.
Shouldn't we be considering the bigger picture here, Cabe?
And Cabe is not. Cabe's like, I'm not blinking.
I have
I'm
a
good
genius
girl.
next to you, and you see, like, your son pretty much, and you're going to risk his life as well.
Right.
Okay.
So Cabe's done a good job this whole episode.
Yeah.
And then we hit commercial. And you're like, what? And then the episode starts, the scene comes back, and Mick turns. He actually does blink. He is the chicken. He turns. His car crashes. His old car.
Yeah, and then he can't start it again.
Can't start it again. And he gets caught.
Yep.
That simple.
Gives in.
And tells him, you're still the best friend I ever had. Wow. Shut up, Mick. Shut up.
That means nothing to me now.
That means nothing. If anything, that would just annoy me even more.
Right.
So you need to shut. And then we go back to the garage, just like every show ends. Back at the garage. Cabe apologizes to the group for Mick.
Yeah.
You know? And he says one thing that we see a quick reaction. We see Walter's quick reaction where he says, no one changes and I should have known that.
Right.
And Walter's face was kind of like, huh. Do you think Walter was thinking about himself, or was he thinking about other people?
I think he was thinking about himself. Thinking about how, like, shoot, am I ever going to change? Because he has been trying to make a change.
Right.
And, I kind of think it maybe put a little doubt in his mind. Or hopefully not hopefully, but I mean, it'd be nice if he was thinking, like, oh, no, I could change. And no, you're wrong. But I don't think that's what he was thinking.
I agree, too. I don't think
Walter.
it was, like, a positive reaction. I think it was more like, oh, well.
Walter likes to be a little emo.
He does like to be a little emo. And then he's like, okay, since we're apologizing, I'm going to apologize, too, about winning the race. And as he's apologizing, Toby says something, and he's like, I take it back from you. I don't apologize to you anymore. And then he's like, Toby talks about how his gambling actually saved everything because he knew where the 2 places were. And I was like, Toby, shut up.
Right?
Because that's not
You don't know when
true.
to stop.
You don't know when to stop. And that's why Happy pulls him aside. And this, good job on Happy.
Yeah.
Good acting right here. Good monologue.
Yes.
She calls him out on his gambling and goes into this monologue where it's like
she's really heartfelt.
very heartfelt. You know, when it's impressive when the actor builds up tears in their eyes. Doesn't cry, but like doesn't let them out, but the eyes get super wide. Like it is just a struggle. So impressive. Loved it. That's literally how she did it. If you guys go back and watch it, if you're watching this and you haven't seen the episode, what are you doing? But yeah, like
we really learned a lot about Happy. Like, I mean, we kind of knew that she had like a sketchy past. She wasn't close to her parents, but we didn't realize how much it really affected her, you know, because you think coming from someone so cold, like, oh, she has no emotion, no feeling. But she does, you know, she's a softie. These things affect her, and that's why she's put up so many walls, you know, against Toby. Poor Toby.
Yeah. She says, I cannot have the rug pulled out under me again. And he's like, I'm not. I love you. Very sweet. His response was also very sweet. He takes out like all of his bets that he's written down, burns them, and says, I promise to never bet again. And then she's like, she kind of calls him out on that. And he's like, well, I'm betting on us, on you. Like, I'm technically still betting.
That a skinny, moderately good looking white guy or something like that.
So cute. Yeah. Could land you.
A girl like you. Yeah.
So good.
So cute.
Very. And then they hug and it's like, oh, good. Good. That needed to happen. That was very cute. And Walter goes to talk to Cabe and says he looked up a little bit of his history because he couldn't drop the art part. Yeah. He's like, Toby, our psych person, like, called you out. You wouldn't bring that up if it wasn't something special. And he kind of says that he did do it for a little bit. And so Walter signs him up to go to an art class at a community college.
What was cute was that he said that it was, you know, he originally had done the art stuff because Mick had kind of pushed him to do it. And, you know, that he was a really good friend and he really appreciated that this guy, you know, kind of pushed him to do that, even though in his neighborhood they didn't really do that. Right. And so it's kind of sweet now that he might feel like he lost Mick. He has someone like Walter who's still going to give that same sort of sentiment, you know, still going to push him to do the same stuff. I thought that was cute.
It was. Does he say, because I knew it was Mick, but does he say it's Mick that pushed him? Does he actually say that? Or did we just get that because it was implied?
He said something about like, we didn't do that in our neighborhood. Yeah.
Okay. Because I knew it was Mick, but I thought I just
and at the very end when he's talking to the teacher too.
Exactly. Because he's like my friend like encouraged me.
Exactly.
And then so he goes to class. He says, I don't know if I'm a painter anymore.
Right.
Teacher's like, well, why'd you paint in the first place? Friend encouraged me, and then he like picks up something, and
I like how he's in his suit and tie still.
He is because he's a classy man.
Yeah, you could probably put an apron on top of that.
A little bit. It's maybe a little dirty, but he's a classy man, and the classy man ends the episode at an art class. I like the episode.
Yeah,
not my favorite, but I liked it. It was entertaining. There was things about it that were real fun.
Yeah.
I just wish that we would have seen like I don't know, maybe Mick stealing the weapon or like something.
Oh yeah,
just that jump. That jump halfway through the episode.
There's so much to get through.
So much to get through. And Susanna, you said you think there's 2 episodes left to the season.
That's what I saw.
Okay. Do we have any predictions?
I'm curious.
Let's do a little one.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Yes.
So I'm curious to see if Cabe's going to go back to art class, and if the art teacher might come and. I mean, we keep asking about, you know, some sort of love interest for Cabe. As soon as they brought her in, I was like,
I did
she
like
came
her.
around her, you know, came around his shoulder a little sly, you know what I mean? Like she opened up I don't know, she was doing something for him. I thought that was cute.
It was. I agree. I totally
And she's the first person to like kind of, not first person, but like someone outside of the group to kind of like ask him about his life or something about himself, you know? So it was nice to see that.
Kelly Daniels played the art teacher. So I would love that. And I would love to see more of her. I have a feeling that something's going to happen between Happy and Toby.
Yeah.
Like,
it's too good to be true.
Yeah, that's our relationship. They're not giving us Walter and Paige. And I hope they don't force it in the last 2 episodes because that will not be fun. So I'm thinking
a little bit. They might give us a
tiny
little bit to like cliffhang.
But I think this will be the one that like, and I'm not saying they're going to break up, but I think there's going to be a wrench thrown into the relationship.
Right. Something to kind of pull them apart a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you think Toby and Walter are done with going to therapy?
Going to therapy? I think we'll see him. I think we'll see him one more time.
Yeah.
Like in one of the 2 episodes. Yeah. Maybe just like briefly. But I don't think it's gonna.
They're gonna conclude their sessions.
They'll conclude their sessions. Exactly. Is that it?
Oh, I think so.
I think so. Yes. Thank you guys again, ladies, gentlemen.
TV Network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.